There is no volume?
Unmute. All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, so if there's input for Kevin's position, feel free to let me know. We'll probably be looking at doing some listening sessions and that kind of thing, and just really gathering information about the needs in the community. So there's that. Strategic planning is kind of, I don't want to say on hold, but we're awaiting the new county administrator for that project to continue. So Auriga will be giving you some other input next month about that. And we also met with Andy about the youth and governance program. And so Donna has been drafting some program guidelines, if you will, to bring forward next month for you so that you can give us some input about that and what you'd like to see for that project to move forward too. So that's enough for me. We'll see you next month with more updates, okay? Thank you.
Hayward Lakes Visitors and Convention Bureau.
Good morning, everyone. Just a little recap on March. I attended the Wisconsin Governor's Conference on Tourism, which was held in La Crosse. It's an annual conference that brings together tourism people from all across the state. It's a great time for learning about new trends and networking with people who are also representing other Wisconsin destinations. The theme this year was Boundless, which really focused on the opportunities of outdoor recreation within Wisconsin in all communities. I think we can definitely say that Hayward is already ahead of the game on outdoor recreation, and it makes us a huge spotlight. One of my favorite sessions was a roundtable discussion with marketing executives from 3 of Wisconsin leading outdoor companies. So we had Richter Schlecht from Duluth Trading, Jesse Simpkins from St. Croix Rods, and Alex Kipperman from Mercury Marine. They discussed all of the evolving marketing within their companies and how trends have shifted and how they have changed their focus to meet the demands of marketing these days. It was actually very validating knowing that they are moving in the same direction that we're moving with Hayward Lakes as far as focusing more on digital marketing and moving away from print and things like that. So that was very good. Our area actually had a few spotlights. Ben Pop was a guest presenter for the Tourism Awards. And this year we actually had a theme for the awards banquet, which was denim and diamonds. Ben made a splash in his denim ski suit with a rhinestone belt as he took the stage to present the awards. And then I was actually asked to be a part of the recap video, which got shown at the conference, but then also got pushed out to there's Ben in his, in his denim and diamonds. So with the Secretary Ann Sayers looking on. Anyway, I got to be a part of the recap video, which got pushed out. So it's just always nice to have a little bit of extra Hayward splashed around. And then just one additional highlight from March is that our website data is trending in the right direction for people planning spring and summer vacations. Obviously, webcams is always the #1 viewed page on our website, but past behind that was activities for spring and summer and fishing. So that is looking positive for moving forward. And we have some exciting new marketing plans that we're rolling out for the month of April. So I will talk to you about those next month. Any questions? All right.
Andy, we have a contract for services, review and approve.
Yep. Yeah, attached is the contract. Mindy and I had a chance to sit down and go through it and refine the appendix that has the actual services they'll be providing. And so that one is the only one at this point that we've got through all of that and have it ready for approval.
But I see a lot of these are coming up down the road, right? With other.
Yeah, I still need to get together with Adam and finalize that one as well as the fair.
And just for clarification, these are, we give money to these groups and this is what we're expecting in return. And it's for a year?
Yes, it's 1 year. Still would go through the same budget process. Ideally, these would be done when the budget's approved, that we would set up the scope of services that they'll be providing or that they're doing in exchange for the the money. So rather than it being just a donation where we just give them the money and wish them well, we're actually outlining the duties or services they're,
Expectations. Okay, good.
they're providing.
We need an approval of this one.
Yes.
I make a motion to approve the contract for service with the HLVCB.
I'll second that.
Stacy has some motion, second by Randy Newman. Any discussion? All those in favor? Anybody opposed? It is approved. Number 11, Northwest Regional Planning Commission report. Sheldon Johnson.
Morning, everybody. Great to be here. So I wanted to talk today just a little bit about the Community Development Block Grant Revolving Loan Fund that Sawyer County has had for probably 20 years or so. Earlier in March, the Department of Administration sent letters to all chief elected officials of units of governments holding community development housing revolving loan funds. Sawyer County is one of those units of governments that received letter. And in the letter, they highlighted that the state intends to seek all of your revolving loan funds that you have in your housing rehab program back from you at some period in time. So right now, Sawyer County has about $16,000 that are available for lending to qualifying low to moderate income households. So you've had these funds for a long time. We administer those for you on your behalves. And anytime we have an applicant within Sawyer County that's looking to do a roof project or replace windows that are, they're beyond repair. So that's the program, right? So maybe if I just give you the high level of the program. So you have to be 80% or below the county median income based on household size to qualify for the program. You have to own the home, you have to live in the home, you have to have homeowner's insurance, and you have to be current on your property taxes, at least your first half. So those are the qualifications for it. And then clients can access these dollars. They are 0% interest, so there's no interest, and they're deferred payment loans. So if you're a qualifying applicant and you have a well or a septic system that's failed, or you've got other repairs that need repairs, you can access these dollars and not have to make a payment until you sell the home or you don't live in the home anymore. So they're a great opportunity for qualifying persons that maybe can't afford, and that's typically why you have those funds, is that they can't afford the repairs. That's why it's in disrepair already as it relates to the windows or the doors or whatever it might be. The state of Wisconsin in that letter said that, hey, there's $22 million statewide that they're trying to recapture. So the state's saying, we're going to look at taking your money back that you have in your account right now and reutilize it or retool it to a repair program for vacant spaces. So they're proposing in this letter that they're going to take your funds and all the other funds across the state that total approximately $22 million and then retool it to a vacant spaces redevelopment project where developers or others can access the funds to make apartments or other housing opportunities in vacant spaces. That's what we know about it today. Tomorrow, the first of 3 meetings is going to be held down in Madison. We have one of our staff going down there to attend that meeting tomorrow. So we'll know a lot more information come Wednesday morning on what the actual discussion is. What we have learned is in that letter, it identifies that Department of Administration has developed a consolidated plan. It's a 2025-2029 consolidated plan, which outlines this take-back program. Unfortunately, I don't have that plan, that draft plan. I asked for it, and they said it's not done yet. It's still in draft form. And they also identified there's going to be opportunities to yet have more public engagement in that process. So we've only learned that just in the last couple of weeks as it relates to that. So we're hopeful that if they do, in fact, seek to take back the roughly $22 million that's statewide, it's not going to be a December 31st, 2025, but perhaps maybe a little longer date if they implement it at all, so that we'll have more opportunity to fully embark all those funds that you have in your funds right now and all of the other regional funds or all the other RLF funds that are in the state to basically take those funds and move them into some housing repair program. So as I mentioned, Sawyer County has about $16,000. The town of Sand Lake has about $12,000 in their revolving loan fund. And within our region, So the 10 counties that we serve, there's just a little over $1 million that we have collectively in about 17 different revolving loan funds that we administer on behalf of communities. So I wanted to bring it to your attention today. At the moment, as I said, there's 3 different meetings that are happening. One tomorrow live in Madison, and then there's going to be another one in Wausau. And then the last of the month, there's a virtual meeting. Every unit of government that received the letter has to or is supposed to attend one of those 3 sessions. So hopefully Sawyer County is on board with probably the virtual meeting. I think it's the very last 28th or 29th of April. So that would be the time for that. But we are monitoring it closely, and we'll be sharing with you on Wednesday more information about what they've discussed at the meeting they're having in Madison in person tomorrow. So the regional fund, so just then step forward a tad bit. Douglas County is the lead county for the regional 10 county fund. That's the fund that gets about $1 million, $2 million every 2 years to provide rehabilitation assistance. That fund has no money left in it right now. So we actually have a waiting list for the first time ever for funds to provide down payment assistance or provide rehab assistance to qualifying applicants. So we feel that it's very important that because we don't have any regional funds, these local revolving loan funds are critically important, that we do not want to see them taken away. So we're going to be advocating on behalf of all of the region and all of you to maintain those funds at the local level so that your residents and your community members have access to those funds. We've been trying our hardest to get those funds out there. A $16,000 balance in your account can only probably do a well, maybe a septic. But once you start to get into the housing quality standards that we have to use in terms of passing repairs, $16,000 on average isn't enough to cover it. So that's where we would use your Sawyer County funds, and then we would put on top of that the regional funds, where we usually have $1 million to $2 million balance for use. It kind of makes partnership across that platform really well. So right now we're just monitoring it and trying to keep an eye on it, and we'll keep you informed as well.
So it would behoove us to, if we can, spend that money that's there before they take it back, correct?
We would want to do that for sure. If they tell us tomorrow or in the next month or two that, you've got until December of 2025 to expend those funds, we're going to want to do everything that we can to try to get rid of those dollars.
And then assuming, this has to be passed at the state level or it's going to happen?
The way I read the letter, it's going to happen.
Okay.
But the communications that I've had from some folks at DOA kind of changed my feeling on that a little bit, that there is some opportunity, there could be some opportunity in those public hearings that will be coming up to perhaps weigh in a little bit more than just have a staff review, as has been done in DOA right now at the moment. So that's our hope, is that they pause it for now. In that letter, they say that HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, requires states to expend all their HUD dollars before they ask for more HUD dollars. Well, these $22 million that are sitting in the state in unit of government revolving loan funds, you can't just look at a picture of time. So that $22 million that I'm referring to was March 31st of 2024. So just last week, or just this week, we are submitting to DOA, Department of Administration, bank statements from all of our units of governments that we administer, what the balance was on that day. So it's just a snapshot, 365 days plus ago, there was 22 million. It could be a lot less than that now, or it could be more than that. But you're correct. It does behoove us to try to get those funds out as fast as we can as it relates to that. So the several thousands of dollars that you've got out in revolving loan funds right now, it doesn't impact them. You're not paying that money back as well. Those funds will stay there. But when they're paid off by that client that was served, those funds would come in, you'd get a small amount to satisfy the mortgage, and then you would satisfy the mortgage, keep a small amount, at least I believe it's only like $250, and then the balance you would then send to the Department of Administration. So eventually your revolving loan fund will just kind of keep dwindling down until you have nothing left, but you won't be able to spend any more money under this scenario.
But they're looking to replace, this program, they're looking to replace with something, you mentioned that they would, housing development is what they were.
Right. They're looking at putting the money into a revitalizing vacant spaces. I'm calling it that. I don't think they called it that exactly. But in my opinion, I know that we have vacant spaces, we don't have developers that are going to be clamoring to go after that $22 million. That's
That's what I'm getting after. It seems like this is a downstate program more so than what we have up here. So we should talk to our legislators and beef to them, I guess.
Yep.
Exactly.
I'm happy you asked that. When we got the letter, I got a hold of Sheldon just to see what he knew. And my first reaction was not positive. It's still not. We have 16,000 in the revolving loan fund, but I would assume that the total amount of money in the community and sitting in mortgages that when the properties sell, they get repaid as a block grant usually there were $500,000, 750 grants to the county. It might even be more than that that's sitting out there. And that money, when properties are sold, that money comes back in, and then the planning commission administers the program for us and loans that back out to the next homeowner. And so there's quite a bit of money that keeps on cycling through the community. And I think your assessment's right that if that money is all clawed back to the state and put into this new program, probably isn't coming back, at least not in the numbers. I would be more in favor of a regional program, which, to go back a decade or more ago, and part of this is that there's a lot of these revolving loan funds throughout the state, and at some point, I don't think DOA wants to keep track of all of them, which is the case we had with the revolving loan funds for businesses. Every community had one, and the Northwest region was the first region to go ahead and consolidate all of those business RLFs into a regional program and kept all the money local. Defederalized it, so we were out from under the HUD rules. And I think that money just keeps on cycling within the region. It's been very successful by doing that at a regional level. So I'd be more inclined to see that happen than to send it down to Madison and have
Do we,
to allocate it.
we're assuming our assembly and state senator are aware of this, it's an issue, or should we be writing some sort of resolution to them, or?
I think we should, and I think Sheldon and I are both waiting to see what the actual plan is. The letter is very vague. It has an idea with no details.
Yeah, so we're assuming that tomorrow morning or tomorrow at 1:00, we're going to know more information once they share that with the folks that are in person in Madison. I already have a staff meeting scheduled with the persons that are going to Wednesday morning at 9:00. So I'll know early morning what they shared. My fear is that they're going to share us no information that's going to be worth moving forward in advancing anything. However, your suggestion on a resolution, perhaps at least getting in front of it, could be very much warranted as we move forward here later this week. So we'll know more. But as Andy mentioned, we don't even know what that consolidated plan looks like because we haven't seen a draft copy of it. And if there is opportunity for it, I suspect there will be a lot of communities and others weighing in to retain and keep it as is. That's all I have for y'all.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Hey, thanks, everybody.
Sawyer County LCO Economic Development Corporation report.
Good morning, Adam Maury, Sawyer County LCO Economic Development Corporation Executive Director. So I submitted some things here to discuss. I gave you an update. We currently have and complete our sponsorship drive. So 22 businesses that are sponsoring the EDC. I don't know if you've seen that before, but that's where we're at this year. So we're up. I believe there's 10 new members. So that's really good. Also, one of the other big projects we're working on, in combined with the county, is a video that highlights why work, why play in Sawyer County. So we've done some recording at Tamarack Health. We've went to the Hayward schools. We've also hit the Winter Greenhouse, downtown Hayward, Chamber of Commerce. I have a couple more to go. One this week. I'm going to Arkland, and then LP. So we're trying to get a variety of things to include in this. And this project specifically has been geared towards recruiting employees to come to Sawyer County to work, and hopefully hook them with the play as well. So that's really what we're looking for in that. The Homes project update, I just attached that. I'm guessing you guys are aware of what's going on there, which it all looks good. And 1 year from now, hopefully we have some new places to live. Next on my list, I've been pushing out the SSBIC has free technical assistance for Sauter County businesses or any businesses in the state of Wisconsin. So basically, if any business has a need for legal services, financial advising, accounting, marketing, there are places out there that can help. The state small business credit initiative is there to help these businesses, and hopefully we can communicate that with Sauter County businesses. Northwest Regional Planning Commission reached out and on May 9th at Flat Creek from 8 to 12. If anyone is interested, there's going to be Small Business Academy, the Lieutenant Governor's Small Business Academy in person is going to be that day. The topics covered are going to be financial recording, record keeping, getting started with social media, which is a really big one for our county. We have a lot of older businesses that don't utilize social media. So there's tons of free things that people can learn and do. So hopefully this gets them over that intimidation of that. And then there's going to be a session on business succession. So you can put it on your calendar, that'll be May 9th from 8 to 12 at Flat Creek. So there should be a pretty good panel of experts there to help out with that. Other than that, we have 5 different small businesses that we're doing some promo videos for. So hopefully that will be done by next month and I can share that with you too. Anyone have any questions? I think that's about all. No
I
questions.
think we're good. You did such a good job. There's no questions.
That's
That's how I take it when it happens
that's
to me.
exactly what I was thinking. Thanks.
Thank you. And we have a contract for services here.
We don't have that one finalized yet. I need to get together with Adam to go through
You know, kind of a side note, we don't have to dive into this, it's probably more of a finance issue, but with the probable strike down of Act 10 in the future, when we see like all these services and so forth, if we're down as a county $1 million because of that, I mean, can you give a 2-minute, like what decisions are some of these things at risk then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, these are year-to-year contracts to provide services. They are discretionary or non-mandated. So yeah, I mean, those things will always be on the table if
and when that
if we're in a
comes.
type of a
Okay.
budget situation. I think the other thing I'd maybe highlight too is, these 3 in particular that we have in this committee, the fair, the Hayward Lakes and the EDC, if you go county to county, some counties run the fair, some counties have in-house economic development or tourism. So I also would we're paying them to do these services rather than the county having them
Right.
in-house. So, but they would, regardless, either way, they would be non-mandated functions.
Right, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I think it's something that we have to continue to talk about as a county, because I'm not sure everybody understands what may be coming down the road. And some tough decisions, not today, but down the road may have to happen. And my concern is that the county will be blamed for it. And so I think it's good we talk about it here and there. So that's just my point. Okay, library update. Winter first, or it doesn't matter, but they had winter here first.
Donna Nucky from the Winter Public Library. I included in the packet for this month just the director's report, and then I also had the 2024 annual report statistics, and that comes off of our annual report that we, as libraries, fill out and submit to DPI, get approval from our local board and from Northern Waters Library Board. So first with the director's report, this is just an example of what 1 month of calendar would look like. We had different activities continually throughout the months. We have our leprechaun trap contest. It's just a way to get families doing activities together and promoting usage of the library. We have a jigsaw puzzle competition coming up this Sunday, which are very competitive. So, and fun, just a way for the community to get together. The doors are open and we just have it's just a fun activity to do. We have Lego clubs ongoing in school and out of school activities. So we have school classrooms coming down to the library for programming. And then we also have the after school program using the library for programming provided by our staff. We work with UW Extension and they provide the strong bodies. We talk about that all the time, but that partnership is important to our community so that seniors are able to access resources using the library and resources that the county provides or that UW Extension provides, which is a part of the county. We had a birding series, so we have a lot of nature activities going on. We have a snakes are our friends series going on starting in April. And then I included in the report this month, Friends of the Library met last month, and we try to plan out our fundraising for the year. And this is done early in the spring because we have activities. We try to latch on to community events so that we're not always seeking support from the local people, but also from our guests and our visitors to the area. And then the funds used from this do two things, or maybe three. Provide the costing for our programming that we offer for youth and adult programming. So it helps offset those costs. The second thing it would be is if we have any needs in the, capital improvement needs, we try to use those funds for that. And our third thing is I know that we have I guess it would be like a grant through the Northwest Regional Planning Commission. And even though it's kind of like a block grant, and I'm sure that I'm not saying it correctly, but it's one that we got to help rebuild our basement and our problems that we had with our water in our basement and to keep our structure safe and sound and solid and avoid mold and future problems with our drainage in our basement. We use funds from this to pay towards that, even though we're not required unless we close as a library, sell the building, but we don't want that up on our heads. So I think we started off with almost a $27,000 grant or loan, and we're down to, I think, $17,000. So we tried to put $3,000 a year on that, or more. I think this year we did 5. So we had successful fundraisers last year. So we try to use these funds for anything outside of our operational expenses. For the statistics, we can look at the statistics. We do run the library with 3 part-time staff. Two part-time staff during the day are working the front desk. We're open 47 hours a week from Memorial Day through Labor Day, but then from September through May, we're 41 hours a week, which is a lot of hours for a small library, so we're excited about that. Our digital items borrowed, our circular items are items that go through our front desk, which could be puzzles, DVDs, books. We were down just a little bit with our circulated items, but our digital items increased. So people are using digital ebooks, or they can watch videos online as well. We lent out more this year than we did last year when it comes to interlibrary loans. So that's kind of a good thing. Other libraries are borrowing from our library more than they have in the past. Our visitors, we kind of keep a track, not every day of every person that walks through the door, but once a quarter, we do keep track of our busiest day of that month or of that quarter, and we could do a rolling average of how many visitors walk into our library. We get people that come into our library that are not library patrons, but may come in and we always have our shelf of books that they can purchase from, or they might just utilize it for workspace, especially if they're visiting in the area or don't have connectivity at their house or cabin. Website visits had increased to the library, and our card holders increased. Our library programs, last year I just kind of went through our library programs to see which ones were successful, beneficial, some were duplicated programs where we could refine them a little bit. So we decreased in the amount of programs we offered. And what I thought was interesting is we saw an increase in the attendance at those programs. So sometimes, I don't want to say offering less is best, but it just worked for our community, and it helped save on staff time and preparation for programs and on our budget when it comes to paying for staff to be available to help out with those programs. So it was a win-win, a little bit less programs, like just 40 less programs, and then, like I said, an increase in attendance of people at those programs. The last thing I want to say is we've been working on tonight will be our first time meeting. We have a strategic plan in place that is expired. So we're reviewing that the next 3 months with UW Extension. Ariga is coming in, and we're going to start our first session tonight. And I think we figured mapping it out that April, May, and June. By June, we should have finalized our strategic plan. So we're going to review the plan that was in place, make any modifications, edits as needed. This is something that is done with my library board, and I have 11-member library board, so we have a lot of input from them, and it'll be interesting to see what the process will be tonight when we start that and where we go with that. So my goal is that the next time I meet with you, I can share with you our strategic plan. Do you have any questions? Yeah, so our Strong Bodies program is something that UW Extension FoodWise does. And so we just offer our facility as a place for them to meet and do it virtually. And it's a very strong group that comes in, a regular group that comes in, and it's really been well for them. I haven't done like a survey on it or anything, but they're the people that do attend have a good camaraderie, and it's just a great way for them to connect with each other. We will, yes. We do that every spring. We work with a local school and 4th and 5th graders. They come and they plan the garden out, what the theme is, come and plant it, and then they work on that during the summertime. They'll stop by the library and do that, and then we harvest in the fall.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hayward Library.
Good morning, everyone. Just like Donna, I gave you the annual report highlights. And as you can see, our card holders have increased about 13%. Our visits, which have increased also 10%. And our visits are monitored. We do have a door monitoring system that counts the number of people that come in. Our items loaned out increased by 5%. Our computer sessions, as you can see, increased by 12%. Wi-Fi connections have decreased, and I think a lot of that has to do with the better Wi-Fi service in the area around Hayward. I think a lot of people just automatically get on their phone, and so that's a good thing. Our ebooks, as you can see, have all increased, especially our audio by 15%. Our programs increased, our total number increased by 18%. And attendance is nearly 4,700 people on that. Our children programs roughly stayed the same, decreased a little bit, and that's in partial just to get more of the teens and more of the adult programs going with limited amount of staff. Any questions as to the annual report? No? And then I've also given you just some neat things on the back of the annual report, sorry. Just for you to take a look at some of the programs and things that go on. You can see we have the art club. They did those neat triptychs that you can see off the highway. We have the arches, some neat kids programs over the summer. Our numbers are just about on point as last year. I gave you the update for this year. The other thing that I gave you is the circulation activity by stat group, and what that is by where everybody lives. You can see the Hayward Township's 20.5%, Bass Lake's 12.8%, Hayward City 12.1%, and so on. And I've been trying to go to some of the towns and to the city to just report to them what their community is doing at the library, that they do come to the library. Let you know, we've got a new assistant director, Taylor Robers. Our summer reading program, we're looking to get quite a few activities going, especially since the schools will not be having a summer school program. We partner with a lot of people. We partner with Donna, with the 4-H to provide STEM. We partner with the Cable Natural History Museum to the point that they now write us into their grant for their program for junior naturalists and for little naturalist programs. We're having a John Muir exhibit from the Wisconsin Historical Society also. Big thing going on is we had all three boards, that being the library board, the foundation board, and the Friends of the Library board meet to discuss our shortfall in terms of budget and fundraising. On June 14th, we're going to have a Celebrate Your Library, not directly to fundraise a lot of money, but just to let people know what goes on at the library and so forth. They're talking about yoga in the morning, maybe a fun run in the morning also, bingo, kids programs, activities, all different things all during the day. Our foundation, who has reached their million mark just recently, will be having authors event on August 21st with William Kent Kruger. So hopefully I can see some faces there. Library maintenance, we're doing some maintenance. We're getting our ductwork clean on April 12th. Carpets are to be cleaned April 16th. We've had a donation for the carpets to be cleaned from a patron. Library trail boardwalks need about 28 boards replaced, and we need to have the pilings evaluated for safety. Staff, on April 17th, we will have Darren Jensen from the Sawyer County Sheriff's Office also do active shooter training for my staff. Windows, we've tried to address that. We've lowered the dew point, and I've even lowered it down to 15%, but it sticks around 25%. We're going to evaluate that for one more year, but it had a advisor come in that they say the windows look okay. We're going to be keeping track of the humidity, and we've got to be careful with that because you don't want too dry in a library full of books versus too wet for the windows, so it's a careful balance. What we probably will have to do is cut the drywall underneath the windows and evaluate for any damage and that to the windows. And then the boards will have to be replaced. They're a plywood, more with a hard surface. Going to have 13 new computers be put in. 10 of our computers are more than 10 years old. So want to provide a better service to the patrons coming in with a faster speed computers. Did apply for a grant from Jump River for the computers. We did not get that. Also applied for a grant from Penguin Books for some of our summer reading, and we did not get that also, but keep working. A lot of our funding from the summer reading program is from the Friends of the Library and partially from the foundation. Any questions in terms of that? No? Just got our activities this month. I mentioned a lot. We're also partnering with the County Historical Society, and we're going to have the Charlie Don Allison. He's the grandson of the caretaker of Al Capone's hideout in the library, and I'm just bringing that up because We are going to have it in the children's room with the shades down with the funds that we got from the 100 Who Care. This week is National Library Week. Just wanted to let you know on that. We've got a lot of different programs and activities for people at the libraries. You can see we've got Peeps Diorama. We're also with Northern Waters together doing a passport program encouraging people to go around Northern Wisconsin to check out all the libraries. Also partnering with Superior Choice Credit Union for a spring fun Easter egg hunt for the kids in the library. The other thing I think Catherine is on she's the director of Northern Waters. I think she's on.
Yeah.
The other thing, are you there, Catherine?
Yeah. Hi, Ann.
Hi, I also handed out to the board the IMLS talking points for library staff. And what that is, as you've probably heard in the news, the Institute of Museum and Library Services, basically they have been laid off. And will we be impacted by the funds? And the answer is yes. And you can see the numbers there. The big ways that they're going to impact us is through interlibrary loan and WSCAT. That is basically me borrowing from Donna from me, and also us borrowing from books from Madison, people who want some books that we don't have in our collection. Also affects DPI Library Service team. They support us, and matter of fact, Tuesday through Thursday this week, I'm going for a new director training in Marshfield, so that would affect that in the future. And the other one is BadgerLink, and I don't know if a lot of people know about that. That's great information at your fingertips through our website, magazines, newspapers, just information. And it will impact our Libby services. And you can see that our Libby services, that's our ebooks, e-audios, went up 15%. All that could affect it. And Catherine is the director of Northern Waters Library Service. I don't know if you want to say anything, Catherine?
Hi. Yeah. Hi, all. Yeah, I am on the line if you have any questions about the potential cuts to IMLS, the Institute of Museum and Library Services. As of right now, this is a rapidly changing situation. And as you all have a tribal library in your county, it becomes a little bit more urgent about the funding source. As of last month, I think the 31st, all of the staff at IMLS was laid off, which means that these grants that our libraries and my library system rely on potentially will not continue to be given out. Last week, different states, California, Washington, received letters from the Trump administration that basically said you're no longer getting these grants, even though there's statutory requirements. So as of last Friday, 19 states, including Wisconsin, filed a lawsuit kind of pushing back against this EO. And that's where we are right now. So as Ann said, we're very close to losing kind of a significant amount of our funding. Northern Waters receives 8% of our funds from the federal government. But more concerning for library patrons is that DPI. Of the 19 library staff members at DPI, almost 17 are funded by federal funds. So we're definitely going to see a drop in services, unfortunately, and it will be felt, and I think you will potentially be hearing about it. So you had said that you're going to use the 100 Who Cares monies for entertainment, is that correct?
No, it's used for the shades in the room.
Purchasing the shades.
Yeah, we purchased the shades, they're
Got it.
installed.
Misunderstood what you said.
Oh,
So
sorry.
That's not what I remember that money's supposed to be used for, because,
Yes,
All right,
yes,
understood.
sorry.
Okay.
Sorry if I misspoke.
and what else do you do for fundraising?
Well, a lot of it is through Friends of the Library. The majority of their funds, they do get from the used book room, selling of the books there. And then the foundation does some fundraising throughout the year. So at the Friends also, they do a fundraising campaign once a year also.
Okay.
And with the 3 board meeting, we're trying to get us and everyone to do more activities like that with the Celebrate Your Library.
Do you know much about the LCO library?
A bit, not, Catherine might know more. Are you asking in your terms of the IMLS?
We don't get a report back from them, but we do contribute. I wonder,
Do we contribute to the LCO? And this IMLS thing is, she mentioned something about the LCO makes it more, why would that?
It has to do with the federal funding,
Because they get more federal funding?
correct.
Yeah, we give, yeah,
They don't seem to want to talk to us, so. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, we have do have a resolution adopting the county library plan. This is the plan that we
before,
would, go ahead,
just say before, one of the reasons we're doing the county library plan is we have to have it in order for us to be a member of Northern Waters. Catherine, did you have anything else you wanted to?
No, honestly, that's kind of
Okay.
the thing that's happening right now in our world. There's a lot of other stuff, but unless anybody has any questions about the larger library world.
Okay.
No.
Doesn't look like it. So if you recall, the library directors brought us the county library plan, I think probably in January, in order for us to adopt, and we realized we did not have a county library planning committee in place in order to kind of go through the procedural steps of preparing the plan and having a public hearing on the plan. So we did create it. That committee has met a couple times to go through the plan and then have the public hearing, and then they've revised it, and then they have it here for us today. And in the agenda as well, there's a resolution, should you want to move this to the county board for approval. They have to basically file it with the county, and then the county has to accept it, which is what the resolution does.
In the back of the plan, you can see the funding for the 3 libraries for, was it 21, 22, 23, I believe? The back page.
Mhm. So we need a resolution, or we need a
I want to make a
motion.
motion that we move the resolution to the county board for approval.
Motion by Randy Newman,
I'll second that.
second by Stacy Hessel. Any discussion? All those in favor? Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Trail report, motorized. We'll start with motorized first. Liz, let's just sign this one. Sign this one? Is this the one you want to, okay. Yes.
Are you
Kathy?
ready?
Yes.
Kathy LaRue with the Sawyer County Alliance. We're in between seasons right now. The trails are closed, so I don't have a whole lot to report. I did attend the AWSC convention in Green Bay at the end of March. Basically, backing up a little bit, both snowmobiling and ATVing, as a reminder, are entirely self-funded. We don't use taxpayer money to run those programs. The past 2 winters, as far as snowmobiling goes, has hit us pretty hard. Right now, we have probably 7.4 million in funding requests, 1.4 million to deal with it. The legislative committee through AWSC, which I am on, we are going to propose some fee increases. Probably not going to make it into the state this year with that, but we're looking at increasing the AWSC Trail Pass from $10 to $20. Registration, it's a 3-year registration, that'll go from $30 to $45. The non-resident pass increase we're proposing is going to be $50 to $70. And then the DNR pass, that's for people that are not members of a club or the AWSC. We're proposing that goes from $30 to $50. Hopefully that money will bring an increase into the program along with more snow. So really that's all I have to report unless you have any questions.
Kind of a mild report, yeah.
Yeah.
No questions, thank you.
And lastly, Mr. Alvarado, thank you for everything you've done for Sawyer County and good luck in your future endeavors.
Tom, non-motorized.
Yeah, I spent a quiet time at the Berkey office and I've submitted for each of you a letter from Ben. And I don't have anything further to add other than that.
Okay, thank you. Any broadband update, Andy?
There is nothing to report on broadband.
Okay. Any correspondence or board-appointed committee updates? Correspondence from conferences, anything?
The next SEP meeting is next week, April 16th. Indian Head Community Action Agency on March 24th board meeting talked about the federal funding turmoil, I guess, going on right now. And since then, we got an email from the executive director there the other day saying that there's been some closure of Head Start offices, regional offices, but basically it's part of a consolidation, and that funding levels have not so far been impacted, and it doesn't seem like there's any indication that anything like that is imminent. So that's what we know right now.
Thanks. Any future agenda items? That student thing will be coming forth. I guess that will be on agendas in the future.
Yeah, we met last week and talked about the next steps. Donna's working on it and pulling together information from a couple other counties and developing our, I guess, a proposal that she'll bring back to
Okay.
the committee. Timing wise, we wouldn't be looking to bring students on this time of the year anyway. It'd be
Right.
closer to fall.
Okay, great. All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.